It is officially 9 o'clock. Welcome to the committee meeting on finance, economic opportunities and tourism. All the normal rules of parliament applies online on this meeting. So I'm not going to go through all of them. Members are familiar with the respective rules. Please remember that the meeting is being recorded as well as being streamed on YouTube. We will be dealing today with two annual reports of the Provincial Treasury and the Department of Economic Opportunities and Tourism, as well as the report of Ankerlig. And I would first like to ask whether there are any apologies for today's meeting. Okay, if none, let's jump right in then, members. Ms. Adams, our procedural officer, if you could put the first document up for Provincial Treasury and its entities then. Ms. Adams, Ms. Klute, if you could just share the document for us, please. Thank you. I'll go page by page, members. Okay. We'll start with Provincial Treasury and the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board, page 1. Are there any edits? Go a bit down. Okay. Page 2. We can go to page 2. Thank you. Are there any edits on page 2? Go down a little bit. Okay, page 3. Colleagues, are there any edits on page 3? Okay. If no edits, we can go to page 4. Colleagues, just a reminder, we are not going sentence by sentence as the documentation has been distributed previously. Are there any edits on page 4? And by 4.2, we can just then put in a date that allows for 2 weeks from resolving. So today, for example, is the 3rd of Feb, and then I think it's reasonable to allow for 2 weeks from today then. Are there any edits? If none, we can go to page 5. Okay, just at the highlighted number we can also, I think it's reasonable to allow the department and the minister 2 weeks for replying. So 2 weeks from today. If there are no objections, can we go to the end of page 5? Colleagues, are you happy with that? If so, could I please get a mover for the adoption?
Chair,
Honourable
I
Mitchell.
propose that we adopt with those edits.
Thank you, Member van der Westhuizen. Honourable Mitchell, I see your hand.
I'll support that proposal for adoption.
Thank you, Member Mitchell. Member Nkondlo, I see your hand. Member Nkondlo, are you there?
Yes, Chairperson. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. I just wanted to check, Chairperson. I think I don't have an issue with the mover and support. I just wanted to check because there are documents, and I'm asking specifically, I think on the issue of Kanaland, there are documents that are requested. I just wanted to check with you and the committee coordinator that in the series of documents that were received earlier on, when we're dealing with this matter, are these what we are requesting now, the same documents or a set different from the initial ones? I just wanted to get the clarity there.
No problem. So the initial documents that we received regarding the Kanaland matter last year were regarding the general business plan and things like that. The documentation we are requesting now is related to the council meeting in December. So when we had our meeting last year, we referred to a council meeting that was happening in Kanaland, which happened on the same day that we were actually having our meeting. So the documentation, thank you, I see Ms. Kluter has highlighted there for us, relates to the documentation on that particular day, including, for example, the letter that Minister Bredal sent. Does it clarify things? Member Nkondlo?
Okay, noted. Yes, no, I hear you, Chairperson. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. If there's nothing else, can we please move to the Department of Economic Development and Tourism's documentation? Ms. Kluter, thank you. Perfect. Okay, members, so the document on the Department of Economic Development and its entities are now being shown on the screen. Members, just a reminder that you've also received this documentation beforehand. We're not going to go sentence by sentence, but we will be going page by page. Are there any edits on page 1? Okay. Any edits on page 2? Okay, any edits on page 3? Okay, let's go down a bit. Okay, any edits on page 4? Okay, if there are no edits, could I please have a mover for the document?
I move that we adopt it for the insertion of the date of the 24th for the information requested by the committee.
Thank you, Member Mitchell. Is there anyone to second?
Chair, I will second.
Thank you, Member van der Westhuizen. The report is adopted. If we can please put up the Ankerlig report. Thank you so much. Again, the documentation has been circulated, so we'll be going page by page. Okay, page 1. Okay, page 2. Page 3. Okay, page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Yes, at the resolutions, we can just add a date. We can also, again, I think it's reasonable to put 2 weeks from today for response for the respective matters. Okay, no edits on page 10. Let's go to page 11. Okay, members, could I have a move for the report if there are no edits?
Chair, I would propose that we adopt with that slight amendment.
Thank you, Member van der Westhuizen. Any seconders? Members, while we don't need a seconder, I would like to encourage that we do have one.
Seconded, Chairperson.
Thank you, Member Nkon. Members, with that, the report of the Ankerlig oversight visit is adopted. Perfect. Thank you so much. Members, we are now at resolutions of the committee. There is a matter I would like to propose, few matters I would like to propose, but I would like to find out first if there are any from the members specifically. Okay, if none, members, I would like to propose the following method. Member Nkondlo?
Yes, Chair. I think I wanted two resolutions, Chair. One, I think you would recall that we had the Westgro issue that I think the department had to go and do its own investigation. I'm not sure if we can request updates because I think we had agreed that they will come back to the committee. So I think on the issue of the board issues from the resignation. So I'm not sure whether isn't the time enough to just check whether that process has been completed and they can be able to come and brief the committee on it. That's the first one I wanted to check.
No problem. Member Nkondlo, we did also include the respective matter in the reports that we've adopted today. And for the resolutions in terms of things like information reporting, we did give the department about 2 weeks. I think the date is the 24th of February then to report back to us. I would then like to ask whether we can then give the department also again until the 24th of February then to perhaps send us a report on whether it has been concluded or not. And if it has been concluded, I think it would be prudent to then be able to interrogate the respective matters also within committee. Would that be satisfactory for members?
Yes.
Member Nkondlo? Perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
Perfect. Perfect. Member Nkondlo, you said you had another resolution you wanted to propose.
No, Chair, I think I'm covered.
Okay, no problem. Now, members, the two things that it's three actually. The three things I wanted to propose is firstly, I wanted to find out whether members would be happy if we can invite the UIF department regarding the TERS funding that goes to respective provinces. There's been quite a number of problems nationally and in different provinces regarding the UIF. The format of the forms, filling it in. We've read in newspapers about corruption happening at the UIF. We've read about businesses not being paid out. And I do think that it's important for us in terms of businesses being paid out to find out what exactly is happening at the moment within that department. And I would like member support in order to as a committee, to then invite the UIF to come and brief us on the respective matters. Members, any views on that? Member van der Westhuizen?
Yes, thank you, Chair. You have my full support. I think that is such an important issue, and the amounts that are at stake are so big that we certainly need to know whether that fund eventually succeeded in.
Thank you so much. Member Nkondlo, you had your hand up.
Support your proposal.
Thank you so much. Member
No, thank you.
Nkondlo?
No, thank you, Chair. I would fully support the proposal and add, Chair, if allowed, that we also invite industry, because you would have heard that at times there is always a tussle between, especially from the workers, that at times we were told that it's the companies that are withholding their money. So I think industry, whether it's one of these big chambers of commerce as a representative, it will be interesting to also get their side, also including their challenges with the processing of the UIF from the company side, which at the end of the day creates conflict between them and their employers. But also, Chair, if we can, any labor representative, so that we can really get to understand the entire ecosystem of the issue of the TRs. And I agree with you. The principle is that this is a very important and live debate, and I think as Parliament, it's very important for us to take up. Thank you.
Okay. Member Nkondlo, I think that to invite for briefing the respective labor and industry organizations might be quite a bit. I would suggest that when we invite the UIF, perhaps we include them on an email list where we say, please come to the committee meeting. And then what we can do is we can always allow for, if there are members of the public at the end of the meeting who would like to give testimonial, we can always do that as well. But that is just my thinking at the moment. Member Mitchell?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I completely support the principle, and perhaps, if I may, make a slightly amended proposal that we get the briefing from the department on the issue, and then perhaps engage in, and I don't know if the parliamentary program allows for it, but perhaps have like a public hearing where we set out a complete committee session or half a day to do exactly that. So you don't limit it, and you provide an opportunity for residents or citizens that have been directly affected to make their submissions.
Okay.
I don't know how the committee would feel about that.
I think actually, Member Mitchell, your suggestion actually covers the request from Member Nkondlo as well. Member Nkondlo, would you be happy with the amended proposal from Member Mitchell?
Thank you, Chair. And I think excellent, Member Mitchell. I think that will do, and I'm sure our public outreach office can actually help to put that together so that indeed, as Parliament, we also allow, those opinions. And I think it takes care of the approach that the chairperson was raising, because then both industry and reps or just individual workers or individual employers can participate in that public hearing session. So I think excellent idea, and I support and fully agree with it. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, members. Then it is so supported. I see no objections. Honourable van der Westhuizen.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Chair, I've got no idea of what the response might be to our call for input on this matter, the response from the public. I would, however, like to propose that we also invite them then to make written proposals or written input, and then indicate whether they would like to follow that up. And then I'm a little bit concerned if we're going to get individual companies and individual employees to come to us. Can we leave it to the chair and the administration to just manage that process so that it becomes a
sorry,
manageable...
Member van der Westhuizen, you tape it off there at the end. Okay. Member van der Westhuizen, you tape it off a little bit at the end, but my suggestion then is we can ask perhaps the Public Outreach Office to invite relevant stakeholders, similar to what they did for the COVID committee, if that would be in order. Member Mitchell, I see your hand.
Apologies, Chair, that was an old hand.
Member Mitchell?
My apologies, Chair, it was an old hand. I've lowered it now.
That's okay, no problem. But members, if there are no objections to that, may I put the second resolution? Okay. So the second matter that I would like to put to the committee is usually after a particular summer season, we receive the season statistics from Westgrove, for example, how many people came in via air flight, how much money was spent during the summer season in the province, and so on. And I would like to propose that we do that again this year within the March period, but then that we also ask the department to brief us on the tourism statistics in terms of employment, as well as the provincial recovery plan for the tourism industry. Given that the tourism industry is our #1 employer in the province, I do believe that the impact on that particular industry has been enormous, and that we need to engage ourselves with the recovery plan of the respective industry. Members, are there any views on the matter? Going once, going twice. Member Nkondlo?
No, Chair.
Member Nkondlo, then Member van der Westhuizen.
Thank you, Chairperson. I fully support, I think, us as the committee being full understanding of the economic recovery of the province. That, I think, as a principle, I fully support. And I think the approach you are suggesting is actually even a more proper, in the sense that to go industry by industry helps to understand, in particular, these industries that are the biggest ones in terms of job creation, in terms of, building the GDP of the province. So in a nutshell, Chairperson, I fully support that. And in that plan of recovery, because all of us agree, and we've already had a number of engagements with the tourism part of the department, suggesting how your rural tourism and others needs to be bolstered. So for me, it will be really interesting in the recovery. How are we, and obviously, how is the recovery of the tourism be reshaped in the context of COVID? Because this stopgap, one minute, our lockdown comes stronger, and then the other. So in a nutshell, Chair, I fully support them. also. I don't know the.
Thank you. Thank
I
you,
wanted to
Member
say,
Nkondlo, Member van
I
der
wanted
Westhuizen. Oh, apologies, sorry.
not serious noise. I don't know where it comes from, Chair. Yeah, it's better now. No, I wanted to say, in your program, you can also consider, the other major sectors, just a briefing similar to tourism, but I agree to first start with tourism as our biggest sector in the province.
Thank you, Member Nkondlo, Member van der Westhuizen.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I
Okay.
support that proposal.
Thank you, Member Mitchell.
I support, Chair.
Thank you so much. Members, which brings me to the final matter I would like to put to you. So every year there's an Africa Energy Indaba, and usually it is in person, and usually it's very, very expensive. Usually it's about almost over 20,000 per person. But this year, because of COVID, what they're doing is they are taking it online, and it will be from the 1st until the 5th of March. And because it's going online, the cost of the Africa Energy Indaba has significantly dropped to approximately just over 5,000 Rand per person. And I've informally inquired about processes for approvals and things like that. And I've received information back from the administration that there is money available that we are able to use for such. And my request then is if we could, if members are interested, if our procedural officer could then individually find out from each permanent member whether they would like to attend the Africa Energy Indaba, whether full week or individual days if possible. And if we can also then, I believe, allow our procedural officer to also partake in this Africa Energy Indaba, given that we have engulfed ourselves over the almost 2 years in matters such as energy. I believe that the experts that will be presenting at the Indaba will be invaluable to what we are doing in committee currently. Members, would you be interested in something like that? Going once, Member Mitchell.
Thank you, Chair. I think that the proposal is valid, and it will enhance our work as a committee going forward. So I think it's invaluable, and I would support that.
Thank you, Member Mitchell. Member van der Westhuizen.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I support it, and I propose that after this meeting, the procedural officer contact us, and so that we can have time to just check our diaries. Obviously, we wouldn't like, money to be spent, and then we find out that or discover that we're not able to attend. So I fully support the proposal, and ask that we just then individually indicate our availability to attend the full session. Thank you.
Thank you, Member van der Westhuizen. Member Mitchell, is that a new hand? Okay. If not, Member Nkondlo, would you be happy with that?
Yes, yes, Chairperson, I fully support the proposals and the addition by Member van der Westhuizen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So members, with that, I will then ask the procedural officer just to contact each permanent member individually, just to ascertain their availability for the week or respective days. And if you can just assist our procedural officer with that communication, then we're able to then put the respective requests for approval then into the administration. Members, I have nothing extra from my side. Are there anything else? Going once, going twice. If none, thank you so much, members. The meeting with that is respectively adjourned. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, Chair.